As a young boy, cars and trucks were always a great fascination for me. I used to say when I grew up I wanted to be a bus driver, a lorry driver, drive a racing car, some glamorous and some not so glamorous occupations. But there was always one thing that I wanted to do, drive a dustbin lorry, or should we say a refuse vehicle. Well, today I get to realise my ambition. But this is no ordinary dustbin lorry, it's a revolutionary new vehicle from Seddon Atkinson, and it's this, the Leader. Now, what do the Leader and the McLaren F1 road car have in common? Surely nothing, you might think. Well, there's one important design that both of these vehicles share, and it's this, the central steering column and the seats behind. The McLaren F1 road car might do 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. The Leader might take a little longer, I think. But the Leader certainly beats the McLaren hands down when it comes to street cleaning performance. So the automatic gearbox you just simply put into drive. We're in, give it some revs. Take the air brake off. Oh, I see. It's easy when you know how. And off we go. My little boy, you see me driving this now, you will be so jealous. Now Mark, Seddon Atkinson have developed this new Leader. Tell us why it's revolutionary, it's been described as revolutionary, and why you've developed it.
Well, as you probably know, Ian, Seddon Atkinson are a very major player in the UK municipal vehicle market, and with its centre steering position and low access cab, the Leader is particularly suitable for any environment where repeated stops and starts are necessary, and where both the driver and the crew may have to repetitively get out of and back into the cab. As you can see, the low steering position and low access points make the Leader uniquely suitable.
What sort of features are standard on the Leader for the driver and the crew?
Well, in addition to an easy clean cab which is tailored to the municipal environment, Ian, the cab includes 1 or 2 of life's creature comforts. It's well upholstered, as you can see, and in addition to that we've included closed circuit television to assist driver reversing and a radio cassette configuration to keep you entertained.
Mark, let's take a look around the Leader and see what some of the main features are, can we?
Certainly, come on. Okay, and so as you can see, we have this rather large cooling package attached to the side of the vehicle here. Due to the low driving position and the low floor in the cab, it's obviously impossible to mount the radiator in its normal position at the front of the vehicle frame. So we've had this package specially developed, which includes both the radiator at the back and the intercooler here. Unlike a normal commercial vehicle which drives the fan either by belts or directly off the engine, this one's actually driven by an hydraulic motor. That in turn is powered by a pump on the vehicle's gearbox. Now,
for the mechanics in maintenance, when the Leader comes back in for its regular service, oil and water is easy for them to get to there?
That's right, and so is the cab tilt pump here.
So just show us what you're actually doing here, Mark, and explain as we go through.
Well, basically we have a small hydraulic pump which powers 2 rams under the cab, and that enables the cab to be tilted without the use of any crane or external device, so that you can get to the engine and gearbox for maintenance purposes.
So it's simply a matter of just pumping it and pumping it and pumping it, and eventually the cab will start to tilt out.
That's right, yes.
And there she goes, beginning to tilt now.
There you go.
And that, of course, gives easy access to the engine, and you can be working on the engine as well. How far does the cab actually go over?
Well, actually, I think it tilts to 50 degrees in total.
Now, Mark, what's so different about the chassis on the Leader?
Well, as you can see, whereas a normal commercial vehicle chassis passes almost to the front of the vehicle, the Leader's low cab and low driving position necessitates that we end the frame just behind the front wheels here, and that the cab and part of the front suspension are carried on these 2 subframes. Also, the engine is mounted slightly further back along the chassis and a little bit lower than normal.
It's a huge engine, 8.3 litres?
That's right, but you have to remember that although municipal vehicles spend a lot of time wandering village and town streets, they're given quite a job to do on certain landfill sites where the gradients can become quite high.
We've come inside the cab of the new Leader now to see what's so different about it, and perhaps, Jonathan, you can just run through the main points that make it so different, so revolutionary from a normal refuse vehicle.
Well, basically with you sitting in the middle, the vision either side of the doors is good, and the mirrors, the visibility for the mirrors is much easier than a normal right-hand drive vehicle.
And what sort of comforts does the driver get and the passengers get?
Well, they get air-assisted seats in these ones, so you can like air out or put the air back in. You can put the seat as high as you want it, as low as you want it. Adjustable steering column. All the controls are nice and handy. Gearbox there, handbrake there, nice and easy to get to.
And how does it actually drive out on the road? What is it different at all to drive from a normal vehicle?
Oh yeah, it's different to drive. You have to tend to drive it more like a left-hand drive vehicle. Like you drive to the curb rather than to the white lines when you first get in it. If you haven't driven it before, you tend to wander over to the right, as it's normal to do so.
Well, perhaps you can take us out for a drive and let's see how it actually goes on the road.
Yes, no problem.